Joining us again is Dr. Frida Lewis-Hall, the Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer. She's here to talk about multiple sclerosis. Welcome back.
Thanks. Always great to be here. And to talk about a disease like MS, which is really a medical mystery. We don't know the cause, there is no cure, and over 2 million people worldwide suffer from MS.
It's a serious illness, and our next guest, Courtney, is a professional dancer who was recently diagnosed. Let's look at her story.
My name's Courtney Galliano. I am 25 years old. I am a professional dancer from So You Think You Can Dance. I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. I love it. I eat, sleep, and breathe dance. One morning, I woke up and couldn't feel my legs. We're trained to push through pain and things that are uncomfortable, so I kind of just ignored it. 6 months later, I had this electricity feeling all the way down to your toes, but again, I didn't really pay any attention to it. Right before Christmas, my right side went numb and I knew something was wrong. So I went and got MRIs of my spine and a brain scan done. My diagnosis was relapse and remitting multiple sclerosis.
Despite having MS, she hasn't hung up her dancing shoes. Please welcome Courtney to the show. Courtney, you're a dancer, you're young, energetic. Were you shocked and surprised when you got the diagnosis?
I was definitely surprised when I got the diagnosis, but when I think about it, my grandmother has primary progressive multiple sclerosis. And when I was younger, I actually used to say to my mom, Mom, I feel like I have sparkles on my arms and my legs. And it was a different feeling than if your, feet fell asleep or something.
Courtney gives us a glance of how difficult it is to diagnose MS. For starters, the symptoms are different from person to person. So, Courtney, can you tell us some of the symptoms that you're experiencing?
I think my biggest symptom that I experience is fatigue. I find that with fatigue, a lot of the other symptoms come into play, like slurred speech, and my balance is sometimes a little off,
In addition to that, though, people who suffer from MS may also experience weakness, dizziness, problems with balance and coordination, loss or challenges with their vision, and depressed mood. And about 50% of people who have MS complain from time to time of poor concentration, difficulty paying attention, and memory loss.
And MS does affect your central nervous system. I'm going to explain why MS causes the problems it does. Because in your brain and in your spinal cord, every single neuron has a job. And the neurons are actually covered with a protective sheath. We call this the myelin sheath. It helps these neurons communicate with one another effectively and efficiently. But in the case of multiple sclerosis, otherwise known as MS, your body's own immune system literally attacks this myelin sheath. And over time, in certain areas of the brain, it destroys that myelin sheath. And when that occurs, and depending upon where that occurs, that's why the symptoms can be so very different for each and every individual. And so you can see on this scan that your neurologist has circled 2 lesions. You see those white spots, everyone? Those are lesions of abnormal tissue in the brain that has been damaged, and that scarring, that area of the brain affected, that then will link to the symptoms that you may express or someone else may express with multiple sclerosis.
Now, Courtney, can you talk to us a little bit about how you're coping with your illness?
Dance has always been a medicine for me.
Well, it is great that you still pursue what you have such passion for. And the physical activity is a good idea as well. So a good plan for physical activity can help you maintain your strength, your balance, and your endurance.
Is there anything else besides physical activity and besides regular, medicine and exercise that we should be doing?
A healthy diet is so very important. And a lot of people out there don't realize that if you don't get plenty of rest with MS, that can exacerbate things. And then also, even though there's no cure, as you know, there are medicines that can help improve symptoms, regular doctor's appointments, and then it's one of those things. MS it's a mystery illness.
Early intervention can help maybe ease some of the symptoms that you have and may help slow the progression of the illness. And of course, what you've already talked about, you've got a great medical team. You should have that and know everything you can about your illness. And for more information on MS, you can visit gethealthystayhealthy.com.
Courtney, best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
And folks, you can also visit thedoctorstv.com for additional information. We'll be right back.